What I'm hoping from this short conversation is that you'll shine some light on the topic, help you understand that, first of all, it's normal for this demographic to deal with bloating on a regular basis, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Oh, and a full year, and that lets you save. Who cares?
Welcome to a brand new edition of Ageless Energy, where we talk about how to burn fat, increase energy, and balance hormones for women over 40. Over the past 20 years as a performance coach, I've worked with hundreds of women that have the exact same struggles you do. I hope to shine some light with this podcast on what can be the most challenging time of your life and let you know there is hope to find success with your health and what you're looking for. Please share and enjoy.
Good morning. Today we are talking about why you're so bloated, even when you're healthy, and even when you're eating healthy and what you can do about it. So sit back and enjoy. We got a jam-packed short show for you this morning. If you're not sure who I am, my name is Drew Tadia, founder and CEO of True Form Life. For the past 20 years, I've been helping women 40 plus increase energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. So if that's you, you're in the right place. Today we're going to dive into bloat, or we could call it the menno belly. We heard it quite often. That's the menopause type of belly, like for women 40 plus. This is something that is quite prevalent, and you may be dealing with that. I imagine you wouldn't be listening if you aren't. So let's see, when we're diving in here, let me know in the comments if you feel like you may be dealing with some bloat. And I know that that's difficult. Like, it's difficult to kind of admit when you've got some issues or when you've got some challenges, but we're definitely here to help. So hopefully, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask live, or if you have anything to add afterwards and you're watching the replay, I'm happy to answer those as well. So when we look at some of the common frustrations when women come to us, so if you're not sure, we have two branches of our business. One is full on supplementation, natural supplement, the cleanest ingredients we can find. We don't sell other people's supplements. We work with manufacturers to design our own. And then we have our Metabolism Accelerator program, which is a coaching program that works with women 40 plus. So I have these conversations every single day. And some of the things that come up when it comes to bloating in particular is, I just wrote a quick list, is I feel like I'm drinking enough water. Why am I bloated? that might sound like an easy one to answer, but I've cut out the junk food, still bloated. What's happening? I'm eating clean. I'll put clean in quotations because everyone has a different what's the word? Not description, but maybe opinion of what they feel is clean. I'm even taking supplements, whether that's prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, not making a difference, and still feels like I'm heavy, puffy, my clothes don't fit, etc. So if anyone is dealing with any of those frustrations, let us know in the comments, and we'll see if we can dive in a little bit deeper, specific to what your challenges are. So when it comes to solutions, or what you can actually do about the bloating, there's a number of different steps. And I guess what I'm hoping here, at least from this short conversation, is that I'll shine some light on the topic, help you understand that, first of all, it's normal. Like, it's normal for this demographic to deal with bloating on a regular basis, but it doesn't have to be that way. And if you scroll, like if you're watching on Facebook, all you have to do is scroll up to you can see our tab bar, and you click on photos and then click on albums. I wish I could screen share right now. Facebook disabled that option, so I have to use a third party to go live, which I haven't dived into yet. And you can click on Epic Client Win, and you will see our ladies that have gone from bloating to non. The challenge here is that a lot of times we don't know what we don't know. Like, we feel like that bloating is normal because we've been dealing with it for so long, or that you've tried everything, again quotations, and nothing seems to work, and this is just the way it is. And I feel like that's a tough place to be in if you want to see progress, or if you want to change the position that you're in. It's got to start with your mindset that this doesn't have to be this way, and I can make a change. And what does that look like? So the first one is low stomach acid. So if you have low, it's kind of contradictory to what you think, because if you have indigestion, you are almost burping up stomach acid. But our stomach acid needs to be balanced for our body to be able to digest properly. And the problem here is that we don't have that good gut microbiome that our body needs to be able to digest properly. And it's not even just that, it's your immune system, it's your serotonin levels, it's your menopausal types of symptoms, from night sweats to mood swings. A lot of that resides in our gut, why it's so important to pay attention to our gut health and continually work on improving it. I'm going to give you some tips today, but if you have any suggestions or anything that's been working for you, drop in the comments and let us know what's been helping with your digestion in particular. Hormone shifts with slow gut motility. So as your hormone shift throughout the month or throughout the years, your gut motility changes. So at times you have less of an ability to digest properly. And I feel like understanding that will make a big difference. Sometimes veggies, like I'm a big fan of veggies. We call it the forgotten about macros, because when everyone talks, like most experts, they'll talk about macros, they talk about 3 macros. It's protein, carb, and fat. And then there's the forgotten about or the missing macro we like to joke with, because no one really mentions it, but it's the antioxidants, it's the fiber. And a lot of times people will have certain types of veggies that will cause bloating and gas. So it's important to understand that there are particular foods that could increase that. And of course, there's particular foods that will decrease it. So understanding that which veggies you may want to stay away from, depending on what situation that you're going through individually. Stress is a huge one. Stress, I'm going to talk about cortisol levels here briefly, but stress is a big one. And like when you're eating stressed out, it's even harder for your body to digest food. And you'll often hear someone will say something about, oh, I feel sick to my stomach. Like they're stressed out and they say, feel sick to my stomach. That stress goes to their digestive tract. So it's harder for them to break down food, utilize it, absorb, etc. So paying attention to your stress levels, because it's directly related to your cortisol levels, will make a big difference in your digestion, in particular, but bloating as well. Okay. So for your gut hormone connection, I just mentioned it briefly, but I think it's important to understand, like there's a direct correlation, like a very closely connected link between gut health and hormones. And I'm just going to barely scratch the surface to give you an idea. But once we start to take better control of our digestion, we reduce our bloating. That's number one, maybe why you're watching today. But it also helps regulate your hormones. And that's a big one. A lot of women come to us and they say, I feel like my hormones are all out of place. What can I do about that? And one of the first things that we do is start to look at their digestion and start to clean up their diet, put quality foods into their body, and things start to magically change. Of course, it's not. Estrogen directly affects digestion. So you have estrogen fluctuations depending on many different things. Like it could be your cycle, for example, throughout the month, and an increase in estrogen levels. It could be processed food. It could be medication. Again, both of those directly affecting your gut health. So understanding that estrogen affecting your gut microbiome, depending on when those estrogen levels are increased or decreased or at a properly balanced level, will help you make better adjustments to that bloating throughout the month, especially if you know that your estrogen levels are high for some of those reasons I just listed. Then we have to understand that easier to digest foods at that time is probably a good idea to reduce the bloating. Cortisol levels I talked about here briefly already, but cortisol levels directly linked to bloating, poor gut function. But here's the thing, is that you can continually do things to reduce your stress levels. And I talked about in that previous show. If you want that show, comment below and we'll send it your way. But I talked specifically on stress and how you can reduce your stress levels and how you should be reducing your stress levels every single day. And that will reduce your cortisol levels, which will then increase the functionality of your digestion and reduce bloating. So as you can see, it's all connected. A hormone imbalances equal a slower transit, which also includes water retention. So again, coming back to hormone imbalances, there's a lot of issues that come up. So you may feel, sometimes we hear our members that will say, I feel like I'm holding water, or I feel like I'm bloated, or I feel like I'm swollen. That's the word that often comes up. Let us know if anyone feels that in the comments. Like if you feel swollen, there's a particular reason for that. You probably are. It's not like you're crazy or there's something wrong with your brain, or you're just naturally blowing up. Like there's a number of steps or reasons why your body does that, and we can reduce that we can help reduce that by taking different steps to give you a different result. Often I will look at the steps that we're working with someone and I'll say, well, these are the steps that you're taking to get you this result. Are you happy with that result? And they'll say, no. That's why I'm here. I said, okay, well, if you are willing to take different steps, you will get a different result. I read this really good post by my man, Chris. He's a vegan coach, and he had this really cool write-up about someone came to him and basically was trying to tell him, so he's a coach, and someone was going to hire him. I'm butchering the story. Someone was going to hire him, and they were telling him what he should be doing for them to help him. And of course, like, we should all know our bodies and understand what's going on. But the problem is we don't know what we don't know. And I recently had someone come to me and I had a clear plan laid out for them. And they said, that's not going to work. I need this changed. I need to do this instead. That's going to work for me. And I said, you know what? Like, it was a difficult conversation, but those that come into our coaching program, they need to have an open mind. And I only say that because those that have an open mind and are willing to follow a step-by-step plan, those are the ones that see the best result. The ones that come in and try to tell me how to do my job that I've been doing for 20 years, those are the ones that struggle the most. And it's a regular fight between us, them trying to tell me what they should be doing instead of just doing what the program has laid out to see the results that they want. They want to keep doing the same steps that have brought them to me for help, but they don't want to make any changes. So that goes back to coachability. And if you are coachable and have an open mindset and are willing to try new things, then you can get different results. Those people that don't want to change anything or want to keep doing the same thing they've always done, not going to make any difference. You're going to be banging your head against the wall trying to figure out what's happening. And then you're going to say, I've done everything. I've tried everything. Nothing works. But really, you just keep trying the same thing in different ways. Maybe slightly off topic. But what do I have? So when we look at supplements in particular, I mentioned earlier, we deal with we're a supplement brand. We're a supplement company. So one of the main ones that I hear back from our clients is activated charcoal. So activated charcoal is great for digesting. It's great for it. Well, it is good for digesting. It's good for digesting. It's also good for digestion, which is the word I was looking for. It's great to help reduce that bloat and that minnow belly. It's really good for acid reflux, indigestion, natural supplement. And it's something that you can be using on a regular basis to detox your body, which we should all be doing. So if, like, let's say, for example, you're putting processed food in your body or having rancid oils, like you going out to a restaurant, you don't know what oils they're using. They're probably not the best quality because of their margin. If you're looking at medication or antibiotics, even Advil, like those they work without question, but they also come with side effects from hard metals that need to be detoxed from your body. So that's why I feel that in most cases in North America, everyone is using something in some way or another, even if it's alcohol, tobacco, like that we need to figure out how to detox. We don't have like a natural detoxing function in our body. We have our liver, but which helps. But then our liver goes through so much damage from everything that we're putting it through. It stops working properly. And then later in life, we have a number of other issues. So activated charcoal is a big one. Magnesium is fantastic, in particular as a relaxant. So when we're talking about digestion in particular, so this is going back to our program here, just for a moment, is someone will come to me and they'll say, what's the difference between those using your supplements and those that don't? And I say, well, when it comes to our program, I say, well, those that use our supplements, they see more results than those that don't. But you don't have to use our supplements to use the program. It'll just level up your results. And we leave that entirely up to the member. If they want to use supplements, great. If they don't, there's no problem. But the thing is like, we have clear evidence and clear results and clear proof over years of doing this, and I'll give you, go back to my point here is, for example, if someone is changing their meal plan, for example, they're going to have a little bit of digestion discomfort, which is normal. Like anytime you go, like if you're used to eating all the time, like probably overeating, and you go on intermittent fasting, you're going to be uncomfortable for a short amount of time because you're used to putting food in your body and then you're fasting. There's no food, right? It's the same thing with changing your diet from whether that's keto or high protein or a different way of balancing macros or plant-based. There's going to be some type of friction in your body as your body continues to adjust, figure out what's going on.
One of the things I would like to ask of you guys is that some of you know that I don't run ads on this show and don't plan on in the immediate future. So the only ask I have for you is that you help us spread the word so we can help more women burn body fat, increase energy, and balance their hormones. And the only way that we can do that is if you can rate and review this podcast. So the single thing that I could have you do or could ask of you is to leave a review. It'll take 5 minutes or one swipe of the thumb. It would mean the absolute world to me. And more importantly, you could change the world for someone else. As many of you know, there's plenty of women that struggle in this age group for balancing hormones, increasing energy, and burning body fat. So if you could help spread the word, that would make a big difference in our life and probably someone else's as well.
So if you look at something like a magnesium as a relaxant will help relax your digestive tract. It'll relax your intestines so everything flows properly. So you're not so backed up and constipated. So that's someone that's using a supplement compared to a person that isn't. And your body will still adjust. It just takes a longer amount of time. So if you want to see better results in a short amount of time, then you can supplement properly. In this particular case, I'm talking about a good quality magnesium. We have a liquid magnesium. That's at True Form pharmalife.com if you'd like to check it out, but definitely a good one. Collagen is another one that will protect or help heal the gut lining. So a lot of times people have leaky gut syndrome and have no idea what's happening. They don't know. They've never been diagnosed. They've never been to an expert. They can't digest. They can't absorb. That's where a lot of that bloating comes from. But when you're looking at collagen in particular, it helps not just with gut lining and digestion, but it also helps with balancing hormones in a different way. As we clean up our digestive system, we can better or more properly reduce that bloating. And then maca is the last one. Like maca in particular is really good for balancing hormones. If you're not sure what maca is, it's a Peruvian root. It grows way up high in the Andes Mountains. It is comes in a powder. It's really good for a natural boost of energy. It's good for balancing hormones, and it's an adaptogen, so it fills in where your body needs it the most. So I'd highly suggest picking up a maca supplement as well. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up. Give me less than 5 minutes and I'll get you out of here. So these are some action steps that I put down for you guys. If anyone wants the show notes, I'll send them over to you. We can actually put them in a checklist as well if you like. But okay, so chewing more is a great idea. If you ever sit at a restaurant, it might be you, but once you start slowing down your food and practice mindful eating, chewing your food, enjoying your food, and you could look around the restaurant and you could literally watch people swallow their plates whole. In 5 minutes, they have this whole big plate of food and they just devour it. So that is a digestion chaos. That's digestion waiting to be, can't think of the word. Let me move on. We need to chew slower, give your body a chance to digest. So the more you chew the food, so digestion actually starts in your mind. Once you smell food, you start to salivate. That salivation has amylase, which is a digestive enzyme, which helps break down the food. So you start to think about food, you can actually start your digestion through saliva, right? You're thinking about food if you smell the food and you see the food. So your digestion actually starts before it hits your mouth. Once you start chewing that food, the more you chew it, the more it's broken down, the easier it is on your digestive tract. If you're someone that takes 2 bites and swallows, your digestive tract has to do so much work, and you could make it easier by chewing more and eating slower. If you're someone that has issues with, let's say broccoli is one of them in particular that seems to give people more gas, you could that's raw broccoli more than cooked. So you could consider cooking more veggies than eating. There are more nutrients in less cooked or raw. So you don't want to cook it so there's no nutrients, or boil them so they're soggy, like all the nutrients probably left in the water. I wouldn't recommend drinking the water. You could look at look at other things in your diet for like action steps. Like you could look at, it could be dairy, it could be gluten. Those things may be holding you back. I don't think in most cases that's the main reason you're dealing with bloating, but some action steps would include starting to pay attention to everything that you put in your body. So this is an interesting one. Carbonation causes, it's the water with gas in it, right? Which is where the bubbles come from. That may cause gas or bloating. And also chewing gum. As you chew, most people chew with their mouth open, you're inhaling oxygen, which could cause bloating as well, which is interesting in my opinion. A lot of I understand someone's not going to stop chewing gum and then instantly their bloat goes away. I'm very well aware of that. Oh, thanks for the comments, guys. It's very frustrating because usually on my phone, which is why I have it propped up, I can see your comments, but they haven't been showing up. I think it's just a Facebook glitch. But if you're interested in working with us, you can definitely shoot us a message and we can talk more to help you can reduce bloat in particular. But we also have I have a reduce the bloat PDF. So if you want us to send that over, just comment below and we'll hook you up. It's a free PDF of all our tips that I put together to help you improve your digestion. That will make a big difference. We are going live Friday morning on our private Facebook group. So if you're not in our private Facebook group, comment below and let me know. I'll tell you exactly what we're talking about. And that one's going to be low impact strength training. So the importance of low impact strength training for sustainable weight loss, burning body fat. So that's going to be a good one. You guys want to check that out coming up on Friday morning. Otherwise, that's all I have for you. Thank you for joining live. If you're watching the replay, we appreciate that as well. Comment below if we can help with anything or if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.